it's going to be a very different environment in 30 years. If you aren't thinking long range, how are you going to be accommodating that? How are you going to be keeping up and anticipating where things go? And yes, things have to be changed. There are going to be changes that we can't predict, but having that long range vision helps us to get there and helps us to progress.
Many years ago in many municipalities, development was for the most part driven by the private sector. It was reactionary. There was not a comprehensive plan for the vision of the community, and many older communities reflect that. This allows for continuity in the vision of what you want either a specific area to look like within the community or a broader future development. One of the advantages of a comprehensive plan is that it gives the leadership in the community an idea of what the long-term vision for the community is.
What I like about Blue Island is it reminds me of my hometown in Mexico, where you know your neighbor.
We have a great community, and it's grown for a long time without a lot of formal planning. But I look at the benefits. Just the last few years, the city has hired a city planner. It has made a profound difference.
That's what the plan is able to do for us. It's giving us a fresh new look at old ideas, but the ideas that are solid. The kids that come out of college now, those kids don't want to live in distant places. They want to be close to transportation. They don't want to have to own a car and spend $4 a gallon on gas. They want to be able to use transportation. They want to live close to work.
It's apparent that you need to have a plan because people that own property often will call or have a buyer that's interested in buying their property, and they're like, well, what do you plan for that area? So I think it's important for the community to come together and work on the vision together so that when development does start happening again, the developers and the owners will know what would be an appropriate use.
Sustainability for me is all about stewardship. Very much it goes to the traditional definitions of sustainability, of not using more resources than you're able to regenerate.
Currently, we're engaged in a number of individual activities that will help to promote environmental sustainability.
You know, we're part of this big watershed, and everything that we do down here affects everybody north to us.
And I think that that's why it's important to look at sustainability in a much more holistic manner than just the environment. You know, it does us no good to protect the environment if in 20 years or 30 years no one can afford to live in the houses because we have not taken care of the financial needs. It does us no good if the infrastructure doesn't provide for individuals to be able to do the things that they have to do, to have the resources that they need for their daily operations. So we have to really look at this in a very comprehensive way.
By having that long-range vision, again, you're providing focus, you're providing clarity of purpose, and you've got something that you can hang your hat on that is very clear that you can get your message out.
A global leader in heat transfer products, now offers innovative treatment solutions. Welcome to Evapco. Focused on safety and the environment, we're driven by a passion for innovation. In 2006, Evapco introduced the first water treatment system specifically designed to be factory mounted on closed-circuit coolers and evaporative condensers. Today, Evapco's innovation revolution continues with the latest breakthrough in water treatment, SmartShield. SmartShield is a solid chemistry water treatment system which avoids the inherent issues associated with liquid chemicals. SmartShield is the first and only solid chemistry water treatment package engineered to arrive installed on your closed-circuit cooler or evaporative condenser. This controlled release solid chemistry system provides the easiest, safest, and most sustainable chemical water treatment system currently available, factory mounted. Let's take a look at how SmartShield simplifies the commissioning and ongoing water treatment of your closed-circuit cooler or evaporative condenser. First, the scale and corrosion inhibitor cartridges, which are less toxic than liquid equivalents, are delivered to the system from a patent-pending feeder that arrives factory-mounted on your equipment's riser piping. Safer and easier to handle compared to liquid chemistry, the patented inhibitor cartridges load effortlessly into your feeder's chamber. The recirculating water flows through the feeder, coming in contact with the inhibitor cartridge. The inhibitor contains a solid chemistry tablet encased in a semi-permeable polymer coating. Osmotic pressure forms in the tablet as it comes in contact with the water. The tablet's polymer coating controls the release rate of active chemistry over a 1-month period. Simply replace the inhibitor cartridges on a monthly basis and chemistry is safely fed whenever the system's spray water pump is operating. This innovative solution eliminates the need for expensive and The SmartShield package also includes a patent-pending biocontrol feeder, which arrives factory-mounted and piped for the control of biological activity in your unit's water system. Granular biocide is delivered via unique no-touch packaging and is easily poured into the storage silo. As recirculating water flows through the feeder, its integrated membrane technology provides consistent release of the biocide, and the multi-silo design provides easy and safe control of the biocide residual. As a complete water treatment package, your SmartShield also includes a factory-mounted conductivity controller, which helps maximize your water efficiency. The conductivity probe manifold and automated blowdown valve arrive piped and wired to simplify startup. A single 120-volt power supply is the only field wiring required to energize the SmartShield system. Evapco's patent-pending self-draining piping design is incorporated throughout the SmartShield package. This Evapco exclusive allows the feeders, probe manifold, and interconnecting piping to safely drain back to the basin, minimizing the need for heat trace and insulation. Your SmartShield chemical water treatment package is engineered to arrive factory-mounted on your closed-circuit cooler or evaporative condenser, providing the easiest startup in the industry. SmartShield is redefining chemical water treatment by providing an innovative controlled-release solid chemistry feed system specifically designed for your equipment. To learn more about Evapco's passion for innovation and the latest breakthrough in chemical water treatment, visit us at www.evapco.com.
I'm Mike Hydonis, the Chief Administrative Officer, Senior Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer for National Western Life in Austin, Texas. We're a mid-sized but aggressively growing both in the domestic but also in the international market. We focus on the annuity and life products. This is my sixth complete re-automation of a company project, so I've got a lot of stories that I can tell. Project Connects really involves almost every different department and division that we have in the company. One of the things we did early on with FAST is we had a vision. We had a vision for where we wanted to end up, and where we wanted to end up was contemporary systems that we could change quickly, that were standardized and effective in all of our different markets. The principals of FAST had a lot of experience that had done a lot of the kinds of things that we want to do in the industry. They had done it in their careers in the past. There's some techniques that are being deployed like 8X, which are really helping us change the game. 8X allows us to develop standardized applications. Where if you have 50 different developers, you don't have 50 different ways of developing that application. With 8X, what we're able to do is build the business parameters in there, quickly generate the small components, and have it back in front of the business partner. What we're now able to do is spend a lot of time on the business definition and really understanding the breadth of the process, the business process. And the 8X tool allows us to build that business definition in and then generate the code. And we're generating standard code, so we can spend more attention to the business, spend more time on the business side, and spend less time on the, we're sitting down pounding out a million lines of code. We don't have to do that anymore with 8X. It's good for developers and it's good for business partners. We will continue to use FAST to help us with some of the leading edge best practices, tools and techniques in the industry. We're happy that they're our partners. We're happy that we found each other, and FAST is going to be really a name that a lot of people in the future are going to recognize.
Companies like Wells Fargo, you're talking about companies that have an interest in folks saving and helping them grow. And
one of the things that kids can do, as well as adults, is to take advantage of financial tools and resources that are available, like hands-on banking that was developed by Wells Fargo.
out of all the emails I get and the tweets I get and the questions I get, a lot of them surround money and financial literacy. So I wanted to deal with that, and in so doing, partnering with Wells Fargo. My foundation with Wells Fargo.
At www.wellsfargo.com, and an excellent tool, hands-on banking, was designed for young adults to start learning about how to manage money. For people who are looking to improve their literacy, Wells Fargo has some great tools. I would encourage them to go to www.handsonbanking.org.
Today is the American Bankers Association's Teach Children to Save Day. Wells Fargo bankers are participating by helping kids master their financial ABCs. Michelle Thornhill is Senior Vice President of Diverse Segments at Wells Fargo.
Throughout the month of April, bankers across the country have been going into kids' classrooms and after-school programs, providing financial education to children as well as providing tips to their parents.
The Moka Moms 2010 regional conferences are being sponsored by Wells Fargo. Representing Wells Fargo is Cheryl McDonald.
We recognize that Moka moms choose to stay at home. They choose to leave careers behind. They may, in some years, go back to those careers. So women have very unique retirement needs, and this is what this seminar and our message of retirement planning is being delivered to Moka moms around the country.
If you are a budding African American business owner, you are encouraged to apply for the 2010 NBM BAA Wells Fargo Entrepreneur Excellence Award. 2 business owners will be selected as 2010 winners and will each receive a $5,000 grant.
Through the Entrepreneur Excellence Award, we celebrate the achievements and determination of African American entrepreneurs.
Over the years, there have been many developments in the field of implant dentistry. Examples include new implant surfaces, innovations in implant design and prosthetic components, as well as new grafting products to improve clinical outcome for site development. Patients today want well-functioning, natural-looking teeth, and they want them sooner rather than later. But for some patients, their clinical conditions requires longer healing periods due to the porosity of the recipient bone bed, limited volume of bone, or medical conditions that lengthens the bone reparative process for the patient. Austell makes it possible not only to measure the initial implant stability, but also to monitor the progression of osseointegration over time, and helps me to decide optimum loading periods. It is a scientifically proven method with more than 300 published articles in scientific journals, supporting the core technology and the use of ISQ measurements.
The SmartPeg is attached to the implant and the stability value is registered by the probe. Comparing this value to a baseline reading at implant placement, the doctor now has a knowledge of the exact degree of osseointegration. The decision on whether to proceed or not can now be made in a more predictable way.
By giving me an objective and reproducible guide for my decisions concerning loading protocols, it has helped me and my restorative referrals avoid lost revenue due to implant failures from using improper healing periods and optimizing the clinical outcome of implant treatment for my patients. I have used Austell for over 10 years on a routine basis to identify implant stability on every implant that I place, and it has become my personal guide for determining the appropriate time to load the patient's implants.
Introducing the Austell ISQ, Implant Stability Quotient. Bringing the power of resonance frequency analysis to your dental implant regimen. It's as easy to use as 1, 2. Optimize your decision making in just a couple of seconds. After mounting the smart peg on the implant, the first chairside reading is taken. An ISQ value is generated and shown on the display. It reflects the level of stability on the universal ISQ scale, from 1 to 100. ISQ correlates perfectly to micromotion, and the higher the ISQ value, the more stable the implant. A second reading is taken perpendicularly to the first. In symmetric bone, the two values will be about the same. If the implant is placed in asymmetric bone, the instrument will automatically display the highest and the lowest stability value. This completes the ISQ measurement for implant stability. Comparing these measurements with baseline reading of initial mechanical stability at implant placement, the doctor now has a measurement of the exact degree of osseointegration. In this instance, the value has increased since placement, bringing added confidence to the loading process. Had a decreased value been seen, it would be a warning that implant restoration is not yet ideal and should be reassessed. Knowing this vital information can prevent unnecessary complications and cost for you and your patient. You will find it especially valuable if you have implants at risk, but ISQ values can also help you reduce treatment time by letting you know if the implant is stable enough for one-stage surgery and immediate or early loading. And having an objective value enhances communication with your patients and colleagues, giving them insight into your decision-making process. Over 400 publications and scientific papers support the use of resonance frequency analysis measurements and the ISQ scale, providing valid indications of acceptable stability ranges. Obtaining exact implant stability measures using the Austell ISQ instrument is a completely non-invasive procedure. It can normally be performed in a few seconds, and experience shows that patients find it both comfortable and reassuring. Austell ISQ is your personal guide to predictable surgical and restorative protocols.